The most number of questions I got today was, so, where are you from? So I'm going to answer that. Before I do that, because I tend to forget to do this, is let's take a moment and thank, you know who the sponsors are, you know who the organizers are, you know who it's been hosted by, but there are a group of people that go unnoticed. The volunteers, the people in the back, all the people that have had to work hard, they've had to work for hours, they've had to work for days just for you today. So a proper round of applause. Come on, give them a round of applause. They deserve it. Thank you, everybody. And let's go back to answering the question. Where are you from? So a very quick synopsis. I come from a Middle Eastern family. My dad and mom were supposedly studying in the UK. I say supposedly because I turned up, so I'm not sure what kind of studying they were doing. I grew up in New Zealand, and for the last 20 years, I've traveled, met with, worked, and coached leaders, companies, and governments in over 100 countries. So you might say, Kevin, Abdul Rahman, that's different. He sounds different. He even looks different. That's a result of it. Let's get into today's talk. When I'm not speaking on stage, I do about 300 talks a year. When I'm not speaking on stage, when I'm not working with CEOs, coaching them how to speak with impact, I write books. Now, this is an example of a book where real estate agents have actually read and implemented what I share in here, and they've 10x'd their sales. Leaders have read this book, and they've 10x'd their team performance. Business owners have read this book, and they've 10x'd their bottom line. Who here would like to have this book? Who here would like to have this book? Who would like to have this book? Who would like to have this book? Excellent. Gentlemen, what's your name?
Rommel.
Rommel. Give Rommel a round of applause. Now, let me tell you something. We live in a competitive world. This is not a world where you can go, that sounds like a good idea. Maybe. You know, I'll wait and see. You know, some people take this approach. I'll wait and see how the market goes. There are people, there are companies, there are organizations, there are cities, they are hungry. If you're waiting for your opportunity to come to you, it's not going to happen. Success belongs to those that are willing to actually get out of their comfort zone, that are willing to take action, that are willing to take a book. Every morning in Africa, the lion wakes up, and it knows it needs to be faster than the gazelle in order to survive. Every morning in Africa, the gazelle wakes up, and it knows it needs to be faster than the lion in order to survive. Now, whether you're the lion, the gazelle, or anything in between, what do you need to do when the sun comes up? You need to be running. I did this talk a while ago. There was 2,500, it was slightly bigger than this, 2,500 people. I said, when the sun comes up, what should you be doing? Some guy from the back goes, get breakfast. And immediately, I couldn't help it. I said, by the time you're getting breakfast, you're going to be breakfast. A big distinction. I hear that there are people that have traveled further than me. To come to this event, I traveled from Dubai. It took me 3.5 hours. Who's representing longer than 3.5 hours? How long has it taken you to come here? Yell out, just yell it out. 5 hours, where from? I don't even know how to say that. Louder, who's taken more than 5 hours? Where do you come from? Who do we have from Australia? South Africa, make some noise. South Korea, make some noise. Same guy. Now, honest answer, and I can see, I already know the answer to this, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to be honest. How many of you guys, raise your hands, are sitting next to someone you know? Excellent, most of you. Here's what we're going to do. I'd like you to look at the person next to you and say, it was nice to sit with you. Now I'm going to go and meet somebody new. After all, this is a networking session. You didn't come here to speak to the person you already know. You have them on speed dial. So please stand up, take all your items, and go and sit somewhere next to the person whom you don't know. Say hello, smile, and say, this guy is good. Come on.
Halfway across that city with the back crush. Labels out here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give that to the people.
Let's go, let's go, let's go. We've only got 30 seconds.
Labels
Quickly
out
switch.
here, now they can't tell me nothing. We give it to the people, spread it across the country.
Here we go back. This is the moment. Tonight is the
Come on,
night.
make it quick,
We'll
make it
fight
quick.
till it's over. So we put our hands up like the ceiling can't hold us. Like the ceiling can't hold us. When we go back, this is the moment. Tonight is the night.
All right, please take a seat. This is not the time to switch emails. Just go sit next to them and say hello. How you doing, my man? Nice to meet you. We live in a world today, compared to 10 years ago, I know most of you guys are young, but hypothetically speaking, if you were around 10 years ago, it's a lot more competitive today. Agreed? It's more competitive than 5 years ago. Some might even say that it's more competitive than 3 years ago. And yet, what I find interesting is smart individuals, smart groups, keep on making the same mistake. They keep on doing the same things, the same thought process. You know what? The competition has created a new website. Let's create a new website. Their competition is doing this kind of marketing. Let's do the same kind of marketing. They're advertising here. Let's advertise here. They're building a model. Let's build a model. They're going here. Let's go here. And then we wonder why everyone is facing the same challenges, the same problems, the same complaints. Everything is the same. You want different results? Think different. You want different results? Do different. You want different results? Be different. That is the only way you're going to have different results. You can't have different results and you're just doing the same things over and over again. That's the definition of insanity. And I know most of you guys are sane, and I know most of you guys are smart, and unfortunately we do this insane thing where we're continuously doing the same things, hoping, expecting that things will just change. It doesn't. I forced you to do this change because I also know it's uncomfortable. If you were to ask me to switch seats from someone that I know to someone that I do not know, it's uncomfortable. But guess what? When you say hello, when you smile, when you get to know each other, when you have a new contact, believe it or not, you already know this is India. But in most places, I've done most of my business, and a lot of it hasn't come from marketing. A lot of it has just come from random hellos. It might be uncomfortable, but it's amazing the kind of people you will actually meet, get to know, and overall create business. Most of you guys would know this man. His name is Jeff Bezos. He is today the richest man in the world. At least officially. I know there are a lot of wealthy Indians. I know that. I know that. Officially, he is the richest man in the world. He started his business maybe about 2.5 decades ago from his home. Very quickly, that business became great. And over the years, it was not only just a great business, it has remained a great business. In a competitive environment that we are speaking of, he was able to build a company that's every year getting bigger, getting better, getting stronger in the face of competition. And there are many things that they do correctly, but I'd like to share with you a single thought. That alone is a driving force for Jeff Bezos, who has become the richest man in the world, and more importantly, the company. Before I share with you that thought, I think, I'm going to guess, you know the name of the company. So what I'm going to do on the count of 3, when I say 3, you all can yell out the name of the company that I'm talking about. 1, 2, 3. Excellent. You know it as Amazon. And if you keep an eye on this company, it is only by the looks of it going to get better, bigger, and stronger. Why? Because of this thought. From the very first day when Jeff Bezos started working, when they set up offices after moving from his home, the building that he worked in, he put a label on it. And the label was Day 1. Interesting, right? To label a building Day 1. But for him, every time he went to work, this was going to be the reminder. Day 1. So much so that when they moved buildings, he actually took that sign with him and put it on the new building. This is the philosophy that he's been actually applying in Amazon, his top executives. In fact, everyone there, that's the culture at Amazon, that it's day one. Now you're wondering, what is day one? Day one for them means that you need to be nimble, that you need to be open to change. You need to accept, anticipate, and adapt to change. You need to be able to make quick decisions. There's no room for bureaucracies. You got to make it happen. Only because we are great yesterday doesn't mean that we're great today. That's what day one is. If I was to ask you, what do you think is the enemy of greatness? What would you think? We know a lot of people, we know a lot of teams, and we look at them and we go, wow, they're not operating to their full potential. You must have a family member, not yourself, but somebody you know. They're full of potential and you're going, why are they putting all that potential to waste? What would you say is the enemy of greatness, the enemy of self-greatness? Very good. Very good. A couple of you guys mentioned it. Right? Most people will think that the enemy of greatness are the challenges, other people, market conditions, whatever, there's a million reasons I'm sure we can find. These are the reasons why we are unable to become great. And yet the truth remains, is what some smart individuals here have said, the enemy of great are not those things. The enemy of great is far closer. The enemy of great is good. The enemy of great is comfort. When things are going good, you no longer think. Day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, year in, year out. Next thing you know, it's a decade, it's 2, it's 3. We've just been doing the same thing. Just existing. That, my friends, is why you would have heard over the years of many companies that were one day great, but today they're a shadow of what they used to be. We know many great companies from 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You know them, that today do not exist. They do not exist because they got comfortable. Things got good, and the goodness got in the way of greatness. Now, some people asked Jeff Bezos, they said, what is day 2 out of interest? Who would like to know what day 2 means? Well, yeah, that's a good one. But he actually had an answer for day 2. They said, if every day is day 1, hypothetically speaking, what does day 2 look like? And he replied, day 2 starts with stasis, which means nothing is happening. Then you have a irrelevance. Then you have a steep decline. And it ends very nicely with death. And that's why it's always day 1 at Amazon. Now, some of you are thinking this. Again, I want a show of hands for honesty. Because when we speak of challenges, when we speak of growing in a market, when we're looking at expanding, this usually comes up. I know I'm guilty of it, so I'll raise my hand up first. You've either said it or you've thought about it. How is it that those individuals do well? How is it that that group is doing well? How is it that that city is doing well? How is it that that country is doing well? These lucky buggers. They're just lucky. How many of you guys have ever thought that things have happened because of luck? Raise your arm. I'm not going to judge you. Come on, honesty. Few honest people. The rest of you guys, you're not honest in other areas of life too. Luck. Most people attribute a lot of success to luck. Here's a definition of luck that when it was told to me 2 decades ago, kind of changed my perspective on things. In actual fact, when I understood this definition of luck, I got lucky. And to this very day, I still consider myself lucky. Would you like to know the definition of luck that made the difference? L-U-C-K. Laboring under correct knowledge. I'll say it again. Luck. L-U-C-K. Laboring under correct knowledge. So what I hope to share with you today, what you get out of today, might be something I say. It doesn't have to be new. I could say something that actually reminds you of what you already know. So even if I serve as a reminder where you go, you know what, I had this thought in the past, but it skipped my mind. Let me go and implement on this thought. That to me is a success. But more importantly, when you're networking, please Don't just network for the sake of sending cards and giving cards. All I've seen at this event is people just throwing cards at each other. Build relationships. Connect with people. Nobody cares about cards because at the end of the night, you're going to have a stack of cards out of your pocket. Has it ever happened to you? You're going to get a stack of cards and you're going through it and you're going, who the hell is this? I'm not even sure who this is. Right? Instead, build connects. Build relationships. That's what matters. What I hope to share with you is perhaps a different perspective. So I'm going to ask you all to please stand up. Don't worry, it's not going to be too much on your energy. Please stand up. I can see if you're not standing. It's amazing what I can do from here. All right. And I'd like you all to try this. It's a bit fun. Raise your right arm. Raise your right index finger. Excellent. Now, in the way that the clock moves, so in a clockwise direction, go clockwise. So 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Is everyone going in a clockwise direction? Excellent. Now keep this motion. Keep this motion and lower your arm. Keep the motion and lower your arm. Lower your arm, lower your arm. Now look at your finger. Which way is your finger going? Some of you guys are doing this. That's not it. So clockwise, then lower your arm and look at your finger. Which way is it going? Anti-clockwise. Thank you. Please be seated. What changed? Just perspective. Nothing else changed. The same action, the same conditions. It's clockwise here. You come down, it's anti-clockwise. All that changed was perspective. Perhaps out of today, you might get a different perspective. When we were kids, how many of you guys have kids? Raise your hand. Oh. How many of you guys were kids at some point? Just checking. Just checking. All right, fellow humans, excellent. Now, when we were kids, we were taught, or perhaps you were teaching your kids, you tell them, hey, you walk with your feet. You hold with your hand. You see with your eyes. Clearly only these parents were teaching. What are you guys doing in the back? Right, you're teaching them. You see with your eyes. My question to you is, do we actually see with our eyes? We don't see with our eyes. We see through our eyes. Our eyes purely take in all the information. What we see with is up here, your mind. So please remember this, if nothing else. The quality of your results in life is a direct reflection of the quality of your mind. I'll say it one more time. The quality of your results in life is a direct reflection of the quality of your mind. You want next level results? Results come from actions. Actions that come from decisions. Decisions that come from thinking. Thinking that comes from beliefs. You want to raise that result? Work on the mind. Your mind and the mind of your people. When I get called into work as a public speaking coach or a motivational speaker with a lot of companies and governments, most of them are actually doing very good. So I don't go into troubled companies. I go to companies that are doing very good. And people go, well, why do they call you then? They call me because they're doing good and they want to get better results. They want to go to the next level. And when I work with their people, I'm working on mindset and skill set, raising that, and then automatically that raises results. Has anyone got any value today so far? Did you get one thought, single thought? Okay, a few of you guys, excellent. Take a picture of this if you don't have Wi-Fi connection. Get your phones out, please, and take a picture of this just as a reminder. You can go on my website, kevinabdurrahman.org. It doesn't cost you anything. It's absolutely free. What we've done is on a weekly basis, I share articles and videos. I'll share tips, thoughts, and strategies that can help you and your people with thinking and perhaps implementing it in your business so you can help them take it to the next level. Take a picture and I'm going to shoot it off. Costs you nothing. It's absolutely free. Done. Next. Any runners in the house? Who runs? 1, 2, 3, 4. Excellent. Anyone's done a marathon? Wow, good stuff. Respect, respect, respect. I am not surprised, sir. I am not surprised. There's a concept in running. It's called the 4-minute mile. In case you're not a runner and you haven't heard about this concept, I'll share it with you. The 4-minute mile was man's challenge to be able to do 1 mile, which is 1.6 kilometers, in under 4 minutes. Prior to 1954, nobody was able to do it. They tried and tried and tried, and the more man tried to run 1 mile in less than 4 minutes, the more they failed, the more they thought, oh, this is impossible to do. It's just unattainable. The doctor said that it's impossible. The body is not designed to run this quick in a short time. They said the aerodynamics is not right. They said so many things. Unattainable, impossible. And then, May 6th, 1954, a young guy, medical student, 25-year-old, by the name of Roger Bannister, does the mile in under 4 minutes. He does it in 3 minutes, 59 seconds, and 4/10 of a second. As soon as he breaks the 4-minute mile, within 3 weeks, another one breaks it. Within 3 years, 17 more people break the 4-minute mile. To date, over 900 people have broken the 4-minute mile. What happened? Someone once said Nike. What changed? Mindset. Amazing. Before 1954, what was the mindset? What was the thought? It couldn't be done. In one word, it's impossible. Right? The one word that everyone had in their mind was it's impossible. As soon as Roger breaks it, what happens? It's possible. Isn't it amazing? Now everyone is competing and going, how much can I beat it by? Do you know that to date, people are doing it in under 3 minutes and 30 seconds? Man has been able to remove 30 seconds. That is a lot. Now imagine, this is from a single thought. A single thought. Impossible to possible. What could a single thought do for you? What could a single thought do for your people? In the same word, impossible, what do you read? Excellent. That quarter can read. What about you guys? Very good. When people say it's a tough market, it's tough to do things, they say opportunities are nowhere to be found. Very good. We know of people that have faced challenges. Have you ever faced challenges? Did you guys face challenges? Yeah, at some point? But there are people that are just continuously complaining. That's all they do. I'm not saying you, but you know people. All they do when they wake up in the morning. Oh, it's too noisy. Oh, it's too hot. Oh, it's too cold. My email isn't working. Coffee isn't right. What kind of breakfast is this? I don't have the right people. You call this market conditions? What is this? The share market is tanking. Real estate, too hot, too cold. We know people like that. Yeah? All they do is complain. I call them master complainers. That's all they do. Does that serve any purpose? Does complaining serve any purpose? Absolutely not. It doesn't. You see, in the past, we talk about people being pessimists. That's all they do. They complain. It's too windy. They're complaining. We call them pessimists. What was the opposite of pessimists? Optimists, right? They were the people that said, you know what? Things are wrong. Things are this. Things are that. It's windy. I'm going to say it the way it is. They will tell you that this is the way it is. They were what? They were optimists. We live in a world that is competitive today. And I hope not to be the person that breaks the news, but if I am, so be it. But today, the world doesn't favor the pessimist. It never did. In the past, maybe you would have succeeded being an optimist, but today, in a competitive world, being an optimist is not good enough. What you need to be is you need to be a realist. You know, the cup is not half empty or half full. By the time you're deciding, I'm not sure how I feel today, maybe it's half empty, maybe it's half full, I can tell you that someone thirsty is going to run by and take that water and drink it. The world today serves realists. Now, I'm going to play this video clip. Maybe some of you guys have seen it in the past. It doesn't matter because I've seen it like 500 times, and every time I see it, I think it's cute, and it reminds me of a time where I've faced challenges in my life. This is a young kid who's trying to get his first belt in Taekwondo. As you're watching this video, maybe think that in some cases, it is you or people that you know in that kid. Let's have a look at the video.
time. Ready? 2. Aya! Harder, okay? 3. Aya! Okay, chariot. Let's see. Chariot. Fighting set shot. Aya! Okay. Break it and shout. Ready? Go! One leg, one leg, okay? Ready? Go! This way. Okay, right leg. Ready? Go! No, right leg. Go! One more time. Power! No, one more time. Uh-oh, you're not gonna get your belt unless you break it. Fighting stance. Follow me. Aya! Ready? Go! One more time. Hit over here. No. No laughing. Ready? One more time. Go! Aya! One more time. Ready? Go!
Give a round of applause.
Okay, chariot. Chariot. Don't move.
I meet with people, and sometimes I hear something funny. They're like, man, I wish things were easier. I wish, you know, I had better people. I wish I had a better group. I wish conditions were better. I wish this, I wish that, I wish resources. I wish we had more money. I wish we had better relationships, better networking. I wish we had no problems. You know what I tell them? The only time we don't have a problem, yeah, it's right there. So I want you to look at your neighbor, take a moment, and look for their pulse. Look at your neighbor, don't be scary, smile at them, and find a pulse. When you find a pulse, say yes. Come on, just check for your neighbor's pulse. Let's hope they're alive. Check for your neighbor's pulse. Now, if they do have a pulse, they don't have a pulse, I can't help you. If they do have a pulse, look at them and go, congratulations, you have a pulse. You're going to have problems. You're going to have problems. That's the reality of life. Have you ever seen an ECG graph? It looks like what? Right, an ECG graph goes up and down. It'd be concerning if you go for an ECG graph and it's a flat line. That would be a problem. That's the real problem. So enjoy life. When you wake up in the morning, have the mindset. We have problems? Great. The best companies, the best cities, the best countries, the greatest of them all, the strongest ones, they all have problems. Every single one of them. Only because you can't see them doesn't mean that they don't have problems. They're having problems as they grow. They call this good problems every day of the week. But it's the mindset that makes a difference. 3 bricklayers were asked, what are you doing? The first bricklayer, I'm just laying bricks. The second bricklayer was asked, what are you doing? With a bit of pride, he goes, I am building a wall. The third bricklayer was asked, what are you doing? He takes a moment, looks up, and with real pride, he goes, I am building the house of God. Now, all 3 of them had the same job description. What was different between the 3? Purpose, vision. The first one was just doing a job. The second one was kind of like our people when they're in teams and they're just working on projects. The third one represents the kind of people who understand, perhaps like you, that have vision, that are working towards a goal. That it's not, hey, 6 to 6 or 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. or I'm just going to go and do this because that's what I have to do. No, they're doing it with purpose. And that makes a huge difference. Different. Let's do something fun. I'll show you what we did in Egypt. And I know that we've got different countries here, but mostly where are you guys from? India. A bit louder, please. It's your hometown. A bit louder. Whatever you said, one more time. There we go. See, you have it in you. Just need to bring it out. Excellent work, sir. Thank you. I'm going to play with you what I did at a bigger event. This was, I think, 10 or 12,000 people. I want to do something similar or better. I promised these guys in Egypt that I'm going to show them to the world. I want to promise that I want to show India to the world. So let's take a look at what we did, and let's see if we can do better than this. India, can we do better? Can we do better? Oh, I want to do this for a reason. I want to show the world. You keen? Yes. Can you do better? Yes. All right, let's try it. What should we do? What was that thing you said? Okay, excellent. But we just need to sync it a bit, right? Excellent. That was a trial. What you thinking? Hey, perfection takes time. It doesn't just happen. All right, you got the sync?
Yeah.
So what I want to do is I'm going to act like I'm in a quiet place in the office. Then I'm going to put it up, and then you do what you have to do.
Yeah.
Good? Okay. Look at these guys. They're like, don't worry about it. Ho jayega. All right. What's up, everyone? Kevin Abdul Rahman. Just another day at the office. You know, nice and quiet. Not doing very much. Make some noise, people! All right, you rock. Thank you. Hey, you know what I'll do? I'll put this up online, and I hope every time you see it, you think of what you learned today. Now, before I give you my final thought, this is another book. Clearly, I don't have a life. This is another book I've written, equally useful, and we only have a limited number. So, I ask you to be respectful and only take one, but there isn't enough for everyone. First and first step. Please only take one. Please only take one out of respect to everyone else. My gift to you. Please only take one out of respect. Please only take one. Please only take one. I will say it again. Please only take one. One, please. Thank you. Just one.
Sir, please.
One.
Please.
There you go, sir. No worries.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
I
One. Only one, please. Just so it reaches everyone. Well, whoever gets it. Just one, please. No, don't fight. I don't think we have insurance. We don't have insurance. Just one, please. Just one. I'll do it later, for sure, for sure. Water. What state is water in? At room temperature, what state is water in? Liquid. Let's say we take it up to 40 degrees. What state is water in? Still liquid. At 60 degrees centigrade, what state is water in? 80 degrees. 90 degrees. We'll get there. 95. 99. Just the water. It's basic science. Let's not talk about the bottle. It's still hot. Ladies and gentlemen, you, your teams, your company, if you were to think of your goals in the next 3 to 5 years, I want you to imagine it as a steam train engine. At 20 degrees, at 40 degrees, at 60 degrees, at 90 degrees, at 95 degrees, water is hot. But that hot water, when you pour it into a steam train engine, that steam train engine does not move. We see a lot of groups that are working extremely hard, and unfortunately all they're doing is they're chasing their tails, not moving at all. Why? Because water is at 95 degrees. They're working hard, but they're working on the wrong things. At 99 degrees, water is hot, but still liquid. It's when you add that 1 degree from 99 to 100 degrees that water goes from liquid to steam. It is at that point that steam can move the entire steam train engine. Your goals, what you'd like to achieve as individuals, as groups, anything that you set out to do. 1 degree difference. That 1 degree, I hope that what you got out of today is that next level results come from next level thinking. You want to have different results? Be different. The only way you can be different is if you think different, you do different, and ultimately, you become different.